Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another The Sports School video. Today, as you saw by the title, we're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo and why he has suddenly, and actually, if you think about it, not really suddenly, basically throughout the 2020 and now going into this preseason, has lost all of his confidence. I've kind of seen this narrative go around. I've seen a ton of different shows, Grant Cohn, Colin Cowherd. Again, as much as you may like or dislike this view, because I know, especially Colin Cowherd, a lot of people do dislike him. But I've been watching and I'm like, should I do a video on this? And then I was like, I actually think this topic makes a lot of sense and is something that actually should be addressed, especially with this kind of quarterback controversy that's going in San Francisco, because at the end of the day, it's the most, I guess, controversial quarterback room. For the Bears, they named Andy Dalton. Obviously, for the Broncos, they named Bridgewater, and so on. We know it's going to be Trevor Lawrence, and Mac Jones looks like he's outperforming. So this is really a quarterback room where Jimmy Garoppolo losing his confidence is going to make a ton of sense. We're going to go through like couple things, a lot of that the other YouTubers have done, 3 things that I believe is the reason he lost his confidence and everything like that. So I hope you guys do enjoy. Do make sure to like, subscribe, and share the video as well. Follow us on social media. But without further ado, let's get into the video. All right. So what happened? Let's go through the 3 reasons. And I'm sure you guys probably know them simply because it's quite obvious. We've known Jimmy Garoppolo obviously was scaring Tom Brady when he went in to the Patriots, and then he goes over to the San Francisco 49ers and is good, obviously leads them to that Super Bowl, as whatever you think leads. Obviously, you may think it was a defensive game for them. And then obviously could be a huge reason why they lost that game. Misses the throw to Sanders deep downfield, and again, arguably held them back. Now, what are the 3 reasons? Again, you guys will have heard these before if you watch the other videos on this. Number 1, and it has to be addressed, obviously, it's bringing in Trey Lance, who's another quarterback that may have lost confidence. I was about to say Aaron Rodgers, then obviously he won MVP, so that's obviously not true. What's another quarterback that has lost confidence by bringing in a new guy? Cam Newton, I think, can be one, although Cam Newton hasn't been fantastic. I mean, a lot of these guys, I'm sure Andy Dalton has lost a bit of confidence. When you're a quarterback who is signed to a team and they bring in a rookie, that's obviously going to make you not as confident because you'll be like, okay, the coach must not trust me as much. Trey Lance coming in is fantastic, obviously very raw, I did a film analysis. When you look at it, probably not ready to start week 1. I think that's a safe thing to say. But at the end of the day, he might be. You never know. And with Jimmy Garoppolo, when you bring in a new guy, Jimmy Garoppolo, already injury concerns. This guy cannot play 16 games and now 17 games for his life. Injury concerns, injuries all over the board. This guy cannot stay healthy, which is disappointing, obviously, because if he could stay healthy, this 49ers team, who knows, could have a ring by now. Obviously, last year, the 49ers didn't have a great past year. I guess we could say it like that. Garoppolo didn't play a lot. They had Nick Mullins go in. They had CJ Beathard go in. It wasn't a fantastic season. Wide receiving core wasn't great, and the defense was decimated with injuries. And then you go into the draft, and it's like, okay, we trade up to number 3, and if you're Jimmy Garoppolo, you got to be like, all right, we're not going to go take, as much as it doesn't make sense, Penei Sewell. We're not going to take Jamar Chase. We're obviously trading up to take a quarterback. It was a quarterback-heavy draft class, obviously, as you guys know if you follow the draft. And then comes preseason, and Trey Lance comes around, and obviously this guy has a ridiculous arm. This guy has arguably the strongest arm in the class, and if Coach Wright can have the most accurate arm. Jimmy Garoppolo, does he have that? No. Is he the most accurate guy? No. Does he have the strongest arm? No. But again, he's a serviceable guy. He's kind of like, I guess now you compare it to like a Teddy Bridgewater, a Kirk Cousins. Not as good Kirk Cousins, because I know the Vikings fan don't like you putting hate on Kirk Cousins. But what's another reason why he would become less confident? Well, your coach, Kyle Shanahan, didn't really believe in you in the playoffs. You look at that whole kind of is the playoffs like you look at that whole kind of how it all transpired. I mean, last year, not this past year, the year before. So I guess 2 years ago. That offense in the Super Bowl was a mess. The last drive where they could have scored was just, that obviously that what ended up, you can very, very much attribute to the Chiefs winning. Obviously, was that big Tyreek Hill play, him streaking across the field, getting the catch, getting in between the safeties, obviously finding the hole. And then you see Jimmy Garoppolo just not really address it very well. Obviously, he tries to high point Emmanuel Sanders at the end of the play, and obviously it doesn't happen. You can argue that Sanders dropped the ball. But again, I'm rambling a little bit. As a quarterback for Jimmy Garoppolo, losing your confidence, we saw it a ton in this preseason game. Obviously, he throws that interception where, again, another example where he tries to high point Ayuk and just overthrows it. Ayuk's not the biggest guy, and it gets intercepted by ISNT Samuel, Chargers rookie. And then you kind of look at it like he's snapping back. Obviously, with the injuries, he doesn't want to get hit. And again, you're going to say, I know it's preseason, so no quarterback does. But he's not, he's not hunting. I think that's a good word. He's not hunting down the field. He's not going through his progressions. He's not looking downfield more. He's going for those checkdowns, looking for running backs in the flat, and not really, throwing deep. And we really saw a very limited amount of him against the Chargers. But the best quarterback there was ISNT Stick. I believe that's his first name. And he's a fifth rounder who was drafted, I believe, a couple years ago by the Chargers. And that's obviously not great for Trey Lance as well. But as Jimmy Garoppolo, as a starter, as someone who's been in the league for so long, you've played behind Tom Brady, you should be, especially in a preseason game. I understand during a regular season game when your job is at stake, you need to be confident. You need to be a confident quarterback, especially when you're going up against someone who has the potential talent of Trey Lance. It's just one of those situations where it's so hard to see because Jimmy Garoppolo, when traded to the 49ers, there was so much potential there. Arguably, there was a ton of potential in New England, and he just goes to the 49ers and I wouldn't say it doesn't pan out, but as of now, I mean, if I'm the 49ers, Trey Lance to me shows so much more winning ability. Although Garoppolo, I know, has that fantastic record. But I think, look, you have to take it in context. When you're talking about sports, yes, bringing up the past is valid, and then it's also not valid. And I think in this situation, that winning record is obviously valid. We know Jimmy Garoppolo can produce. But there has to be something said about bringing in someone like Trey Lance who has that rushing and throwing upside. I mean, if Trey Lance pans out, he could be as good or better than Mahomes, and I'll say it. This guy, if you've seen him in preseason, his arm's ridiculous. And I mean, if I was someone like Jimmy Garoppolo and they bring in a guy like that, I would just be just as scared. And it's really unfortunate because the timing's terrible. Because if Jimmy Garoppolo is healthy, then the Niners probably aren't going to get a quarterback. So again, I think definitely luck has to pan out for Jimmy Garoppolo. He obviously got a bit unlucky. But it's just, you see these high potential players, and especially in the past couple of years, I'll use an example, although I am not saying Julio Jones is bad, but those injuries, although he has great stats, or he's had decent stats, he just hasn't been there. He hasn't been that X factor for the Falcons, and it's been the same for Jimmy G. I mean, if he is there last year and has that confidence, who knows? Maybe the Niners can persevere through having an incredibly injured defense. But it's just it's obviously unfortunate. I think, again, it's a shorter video. I mean, I think it's kind of bang, bang, bang. The 3 points are there. I think if you're an NFL fan, a knowledgeable NFL fan, it's pretty obvious to see why he has lost his confidence and really why the reasons are valid. And again, bringing in Trey Lance is a valid reason to lose a little bit of confidence. But again, I think the good quarterbacks bounce back. They're like, okay, they bring him in. I'm going to show you why this guy should sit on the bench for 3 years behind me until I decide to move on, or I'm obviously not as good as I was. But Jimmy G seems to be the quarterback who shies away, which is unfortunate. I think if he was more healthy, I think, again, a big part of that is he doesn't want to get hit, so it may look like he's losing confidence. It's a very complicated subject, as you can tell, but it is very, very unfortunate. But again, our Buster Boom series will continue to come out. That is why we're doing kind of more of these quicker videos. Obviously, I hope you guys enjoy, but as I said, more Buster Boom coming out, more previews coming out, so make sure you do subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media at The Sports Hoop. My name is Keen McDermott. I am a The Sports Hoop analyst, and more videos come out. We post almost daily. NFL season's coming around. If you guys want NFL and NFL draft analysts that are young and very knowledgeable, do make sure to subscribe, support the channel. It helps us a ton. Help us chase our dreams of making this our job. It means the absolute world. But let us know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think about Jimmy Garoppolo? And always respond. We can always have a conversation. But without further ado, it's Keen McDermott. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.